You know how risky it is when they adapt a book you love, right? It's a total minefield. But every once in a while, an actor comes along who doesn't just play the character, they are the character. They nail it so perfectly that everyone, book fans, drama fans, is happy. Well, that's exactly what happened with Song Weilong in As Radiant as the Sun, and today we're going to break down exactly how he pulled it off.
So this is the big question, isn't it? How do you win over literally everyone, especially with what fans call a white moonlight character? You know, that perfect, idealized person from the book that's almost impossible to cast right. They're so easy to get wrong. And yet, Song Weilong's Lin Yai-sen just did it. He made everyone stop, watch, and just be blown away. So how did he do it? How did he bridge that gap between the page and the screen so flawlessly?
All right, to really get how he did it, we've got to go back to the beginning. We need to start with the source material. So before we even talk about the actor, let's talk about the character he had to become. Lin Yai-sen, straight from the novel.
Okay, so Lin Yai-sen is not a simple character. I mean, just think about it. This guy was a brilliant surgeon, right? At the peak of his career, and then a car accident takes it all away. On top of that, he had a really rough family life growing up. A past like that could easily make someone bitter or broken, but not him. Instead, all that hardship forged this incredible, quiet strength in him. He's super smart, but never shows it off. He just carries his past with this amazing sense of peace.
And this is really what makes him so special. Look at this comparison here. Where most people would just fall apart under that kind of pressure, he just quietly deals with his pain. Where anyone else might just give up, he finds a totally new way to contribute, to shine. He somehow turns all that potential for bitterness into this constant, gentle warmth. It's that quiet resilience, kind of like a flower managing to bloom on the edge of a cliff, that just makes him absolutely captivating.
And if you want to understand his entire character in one sentence, this is it. You like someone else? What's the problem with that? I'll let you choose. I mean, seriously, just think about that for a second. His love isn't about possession. It's not a cage. It's about freedom. It's about respect. That incredible gentleness is the absolute core of why fans fell so hard for him in the first place.
Okay, so that's the blueprint for the character from the book, this complex, gentle, resilient soul. Now for part two, the really crucial part, how in the world did Song Weilong take that blueprint and build a real, living, breathing person that we could all see and believe on screen?
Well, from the moment he first appeared, it just felt right. I mean, physically, he had the height, that elite kind of vibe that the book always talked about. But it was way more than that. Song Weilong himself has this naturally quiet and calm personality, and it was the perfect match for Lin Yai-sen's inner world. It didn't even feel like acting. It felt like he was the character. For book fans, seeing him in that black coat in the snow wasn't just an introduction, it was a confirmation. We all thought, yep, that's him.
And if you need one single moment that captures this perfect fusion of actor and character, it has to be this one, the legendary overcoat hug. And get this, the best part, it was completely improvised, not even in the script.
Let's just break this down for a second, because it's brilliant. He doesn't just pull her in for a hug. No. First, he bends his knees just a little bit to get on her level. That's a sign of respect. Then, he wraps her up completely in his coat, creating this little world for just the two of them. Those aren't just movements, those are choices. And those choices scream protection and safety, all without him saying a single word. That's where the magic is, in these tiny, perfect details.
And honestly, that hug is the perfect example of his entire performance. You know that golden rule in acting? Show, don't tell? Well, Song Weilong basically gives a masterclass in it the whole time. He doesn't need to tell you what the character is feeling, he just shows you.
And once you start looking for it, you see it everywhere. Pay attention to his eyes. They literally get brighter when he looks at her and then dim when he feels rejected. Or watch him run up the stairs, taking them two at a time. That shows his desperation way more than any line of dialogue could. Even the tiniest things, like the veins popping on the back of his hand, or the way his Adam's apple moves when he's trying to hold back emotion. That's a universe of storytelling right there. It is just masterful, restrained acting.
You know, there's actually a term for when an actor pulls this off so perfectly. It's called character closure. It's that amazing moment when the actor's performance is so spot on that you just can't imagine anyone else ever playing that part. When you think of Lin Yai-sen now, you see Song Weilong. In our minds, they're one and the same. He's achieved it.
So you have to wonder, right? How does an actor get that good?
That level of skill and understanding doesn't just happen overnight. To really appreciate his performance as Lin Yixin, we need to zoom out and look at the quiet 10-year journey that got him here.
So get this. Years ago, Song Weilong actually asked this question in public. Back then, he was mostly known for his looks, for playing the handsome younger man in popular dramas. It was such a vulnerable thing to ask, and honestly, his entire career since then has been his answer.
And you can literally trace his journey right here. He started with that charming role in Find Yourself. Then he took on the much more complicated, layered character of Ling Xiao in Go Ahead. Each role was a stepping stone, adding more depth, more skill, all leading up to the incredible, mature performance he gave us as Lin Yixin.
This really just says it all, doesn't it? He went from being a teenager who was mostly known for being handsome to a real actor who was praised for his detailed performances. He started out asking for validation, asking what else he had to offer. And now, his work is the answer. He doesn't have to ask anymore.
And I think this is the real heart of it. He's moved beyond playing a type, the handsome lead, the troubled teen. He plays people. Real, complicated, emotional, flawed human beings. He finds the soul of the character, and that's why it connects with us so deeply.
So after a decade of just quietly putting in the work, honing his craft from one role to the next, he finally arrived. And it wasn't with some loud, flashy performance. It was with a quiet, powerful, stunning portrayal that was simply impossible to ignore. This wasn't some overnight success. It was a destination he spent 10 years walking towards. And in the end, it just proves that sometimes the quietest performances are the ones that echo the loudest.